Hi guys, and welcome to another fake unboxing. I say fake because I got this watch this morning at my work, and naturally because of my excitement I just had to open the box, size the bracelet, and wear it all day. And this is the newly released Seiko SBER001, which is the part of the new Seiko Prospex Chronograph, done to celebrate the fact that Seiko is going to be measuring the World Athletics Championship in Budapest. This is the regular production version, and we're going to check it out in a second. But first, a few words from the sponsor of today's video, SBER, that is responsible for me receiving this watch just a couple of days after its release. SBER is a proxy service from Japan, allowing us foreigners to buy and shop in Japanese online stores. It covers a wide range of stores including Rakuten, Yahoo Shopping, and many others, and most importantly, Yahoo Auctions, where you can hunt down many discontinued G-Shocks, King Seikos, Grand Seikos, Vintage Orients, and all the other goodies that I've been hunting for years. The cool thing about Yahoo Auctions and SBER is that they also offer sniper bidding, meaning that you can set the amount that you're most willing to purchase at, the maximum amount, and they will place the bid a couple of seconds before the end of the auction, and that allowed me to pick up some pretty serious watches at some pretty serious discounts. Now, they also offer package consolidation, meaning more packages can be packed in one. They offer protective packaging, and most importantly, you can edit the invoice. Another cool thing about them is that they keep getting these coupons or giving away these coupons that can save you on shipping, on their own services, and sometimes even on the shops. Now, for this video, they allowed me to share a coupon that gives you 10% discount on any purchase through their webpage. So I'll leave the link to that coupon in the description so you can claim it and start shopping. But be very careful. Once you go down that route, you're soon gonna be buying more than you thought. I was gonna get one G-Shock, it turned out into 4. But that's what happens when you get access to Japanese websites. So again, a huge thanks to SBER for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the unboxing. Okay, with that out of the way, let's open this SBER001. So we have the instruction manual. This is powered by the newly developed Movement 8A50, which is a solar chronograph with 5-step motors. So each hand has its own motor. This is the outer box. It's kind of this soft, I don't know how to call it, like rubberized cardboard. And here is the watch itself. This is the hang tag. As you can see, SBER001. The retail price is 110,000 yen, which is about $895. This is the regular production Panda model. There's also a black dial model that's also $895. And then you have two limited edition ones. One is all blacked out to celebrate the Budapest World Championship. That one is $995, and there's also like a limited edition to celebrate 40th anniversary since the first analog 1/100th of a second chronograph, and that one has like a beige or sand colored surface where this silver one is. Okay, before we move on, let's just start the chronograph just so you can see how crazy this thing is. So press the mode button, it will initiate the chronograph mode and start it. And look at this hand, it goes like crazy. This is 1/100th of a second, this is 1/10th of a second, this is a second, and these are the minutes. And while the chronograph is running, we're going to leave it. After the first minute, these two are going to stop, but this one is going to continue, and this one is, and you're going to see a pretty cool effect because the hour hand, as you can see, is hidden behind the minute hand, and it's a 60-minute chronograph, not a 12-hour one. So the hour hand actually follows the minutes, so you never see it in chronograph mode, which is pretty cool. Now, even though on some pictures this appears white, it's not, it's actually silver, and it has that brushed finish like the original 6138 Pandas that had. It's very cool. It's hard to capture on camera here while I'm doing the unboxing, but I will make sure to capture it for the full review because, like I said, this is just the unboxing and first impressions. So solar, $895. Dimension wise, pretty much perfect. 42 millimeters by 48. Although these T-shaped end links do increase the lug to lug to 53 millimeters. They point downwards, so they look okay even on my smallish 6.5-inch wrist, which you're gonna see in just a second. Now, I got this watch because I was always in love with the Sportura dial layout. More precisely, the Jay Leno watch, and I'll put a picture somewhere that he's been wearing like for a decade or something like that. That thing was pretty crazy, but I never liked the case design because it was like a product of its time, you know, like organic and everything. And I never liked it even when it was new and when that thing was like in fashion, but now it has really aged pretty badly and that design is kind of overrun by time. So I do like that Seiko went for a more traditional look, and the case itself is very, very pretty. It has this vintage vibe to it. It's completely brushed on all sides, and you just have this polished bezel, and on top of the bezel a curved sapphire crystal. You have these oversized pushers that are a joy to press. They look really like over-engineered, and you have the crown here. The bracelet reminds me of the Citizen Nighthawk in both shape and feel. So you have the T-shaped end links, which are solid, you have solid links, and you have a milled out clasp, which is pretty good. And the only thing that I would change would probably be like add more micro adjustments or do the on-the-fly adjustment, because this one only has 2 positions. But luckily for my wrist, it actually fits, so I'm okay with it. As you can see, this is the case back. It's closed naturally because it's like a solar watch. So they finally gave up on the kinetic energy. The kinetic technology. Kinetic is an impressive technology, especially when you consider that that little thingy that's charging the battery is spinning, I believe, to like 300,000 rounds per minute or something like that, making it almost like a solid object, and it's hovering like using magnetic levitation. But it was kind of a failed technology, because if it was your one and only watch, it worked fine. But if you had a couple of watches, you had to keep it in rotation to keep it charged, otherwise the capacitor would die. So it was like having a dog that you have to walk every now and then. Solar is much better if you have a couple of watches, because when you're not wearing it, simply store it in your like living room or somewhere where it has ambient light, and it's going to be okay to charge the battery, and the battery is going to last a long time. If you keep these stored for a very long period of time in the dark, you will damage the battery, so please avoid that. Anyways, let's check out the chronograph. As you can see, it reached like the 2nd minute, or now it's going to be to the 3rd. And as you can see, the hour hand is not visible because it follows the minute hand, which is pretty cool. Also, they did the color coding, because if you look closely, you will see that all the hands are actually painted white, except the hour hand that we're going to show right now. Now, this being a chronograph, it also has a split function. So if I press it now, it's going to show us what the measurement is, but the chronograph is running in the background. So if I release it, it's going to start doing everything again from like for the 1st minute, although it's actually continuing the old measurement. If we stop it with this one, it shows us the measurement, and we can reset it with this one. And now to go back to the timekeeping mode, it's going to do it automatically if you don't touch anything for, I believe, a couple of minutes, but you can do it right away by pressing the mode button, and then the hour and minute hand move to their position. And as you can see, the hour hand is actually silver, while the chronograph hands and the minute hand, which is used for the chronograph, is white, which is pretty cool. I'm always a fan of proper color coding. Very cool. I also love the way the subdials look, because as you can see, these are actually raised and then like sunken inside, and there's like a silver edge separating them from the dial, while this one only has the edge and then is sunken within it. Now, this is probably going to show better when I do the full review with macro shots, but even like this, like in person, the watch really looks spectacular. Very cool. Okay, let's put it on my wrist, but before that, let's just compare the size to my Submariner. So then we're going to put it on my 6.5-inch wrist, do a loom shot, and that's going to be it for today. As you can see, it's almost the same size as the Submariner, which is 41, or a little more realistically 41 point some, or 40.5, while this is 42. And like I said, 48 lug to lug. Thickness-wise, it's just under 13 millimeters, so 12 point something, slightly thicker than the Submariner, but not really that bad. And because the bracelet is pretty chunky and the clasp, it actually balances on the wrist really nicely. I wore it all day today. It's incredibly comfortable. Okay, so let's put it on my wrist. And like I said, I already sized it because I was too excited. Everything closes securely. It is slightly rattly, the bracelet, but it's pretty cool. And here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist. As you can see, it looks pretty much perfect. If you have a larger wrist, it's gonna look even better. Only if you're like under 6.5, you might have problems, but even that would be solved by switching to some kind of a strap to eliminate these T-shaped end links, because the watch itself is pretty short at 48. Very cool. I do like the finishing. Also, the bracelet is also completely brushed, so this thing is gonna look pretty good as you beat it up. Very nice. Okay, let's do the lume shot, and that's gonna be it for today. Let me just do this. Since we do have the Submariner, we're gonna charge both and show you the lume. Okay, with the lume charged, let's zoom in, let the camera focus, and turn off the lights. And there you go. The lume, as expected, is pretty good because it's like Seiko lume, but the amount is so small that I don't know how legible this is going to be during the whole night. I will have that ready for the full review after I spend some time with the watch. I mean, the hands are probably going to be visible all night long because this is a Seiko, but the hour markers are pretty small. As you can see, it's such a small area. Even if it had like the best lume in the world, you know, you're gonna have trouble reading it just because of the size. But overall, I mean, I'm glad they lumed, at least they tried. But the point of this watch, just like that Sportura, was to make the chronograph the star of the show, and it really does show. And I do love it because it really draws attention on wrist. It's like a conversation starter, but unlike the Sportura that, you know, started conversations not only because of the unique dial layout, but also because of how ugly the case was, this one actually looks pretty and very traditional. It almost reminds me of the 6138 Panda, including the dial that on some pictures appears white, but actually, as you can see, does have that brushed finished, and it's actually silver in color. And when you're outside, it really like catches the light and plays with the light beautifully. A beautiful watch and a true Seiko. Like, I don't like those like regular solar chronographs that they make that look generic like any other chronograph on the market. This is full of Seiko DNA. This is what Seiko should be doing. I really do love it. Anyways, that's it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the full review, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.